Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes,
this weekend. Look, everything's going on. You know what's going on. We want to make sure that we got a little radio for you. So I'm Jefferson Bieta. He's JJ Buck. How you living? What's up? You all right? Kind of different, kind of weird, kind of wow, kind of now. But I mean, we'll do it, and yeah, we'll get to whatever we can. We are open for business, though, right? The phones are open. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, and you can watch us on ProView Networks, and we're all the same spots. A little guest list for you coming up 8:00 today. Mo Maestas is going to be with us. Senator Mo Maestas, one of the senators who is sponsoring the NIL bill to get New Mexico and New Mexico State some money to be competitive in college athletics. So looking forward to Mo. 8:30, John Traub's going to be with us. They got a bunch going on over there, don't they?
Job fair tomorrow.
That's a big deal. Get your resume out. You need a job. Comb your hair, or cut your hair, or trim your nose hair, or whatever it is you need to do to get a job. At 9:00, we'll kick it with Kenny. Former Level great Kenny Thomas will be in with us. Big night last night, the NFL awards and Hall of Fame announcements. So your Hall of Famers: Antonio Gates, the great tight end of Charger lore; cornerback Eric Allen; defensive end Jared Allen; and Sterling Sharp, the terrific wide receiver, not to be confused with his brother, the tight end Shannon Sharp, who is a television star. The obvious not inclusion, leave out, whatever, is Eli Manning. I think Eli's, JJ, going to get in. It didn't surprise me that he doesn't get in first ballot. And I know, you're well of the belief that if you're not a first ballot, like, what makes you, or Luke Kuechly or any of these guys, at a Hall of Famer next time? But I do believe he's going to get in at some point, and that's going to be okay.
But that's the way the game is played.
Yeah.
They do gatekeep first ballot Hall of Famer, which, okay, I'm okay with. But when it gets to year 8, year 9, year 10, veterans, it's like, all right, what was the difference? Just ran out of people to put in. I think Eli gets there. He's one of the most polarizing Hall of Fame figures we've had in a while in the NFL, because he did have those 2 great Super Bowl wins, 2 victories over that guy, Tom Brady, but a whole lot of average the rest of his career.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of, there's that argument, and then there's, well, yeah, but dude won 2 Super Bowls. Oh, and by the way, in both those Super Bowls, he beat Tom Brady. And how many guys have 2 Super Bowl rings? And the list is very, very short, and I think all of them are in the Hall of Fame, correct? Or will be. And then he beat Tom Brady twice. Now, did he beat Tom Brady? He made some unbelievable plays. When he was really good, he was really good. And when the team was really bad, the team was not really good. So he's out. Your Hall of Fame class is Antonio Gates, Eric Allen, Jared Allen, and Sterling Sharp. I think the big news was MVP, JJ. Josh Allen. Have you seen the voting? Did they release how close it was or any of that? Josh Allen wins. the first player in 21 seasons to win MVP without being selected first team All-Pro. So he got 27 of the 50 first place votes, 4 more than Lamar Jackson, who was first team All-Pro. Josh, the first player in NFL history with at least 25 touchdown passes, 10 touchdown runs, and less than 10 interceptions. That sure sounds like an MVP season to me.
It does.
Saquon was third, is that right? I was looking for the standings, and I just, yeah, so Lamar, yes, 383 points. It was really close. So Josh Allen, 383 points. So you vote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so he had 20, somebody voted him third. He had 27 first place votes, 22 second place votes. Lamar, 4 less first place votes, 4 more second place votes, and somebody voted Lamar fourth. Okay? Saquon, no first place votes. So all the first place votes went to Allen and Jackson. That's where it was decided. And Saquon had 25 third place votes. So this was, and then Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase. So this was decided basically by 4 votes. That's really what it was, right? It was 4 votes at the top. 2 guys put him out there. One guy had Allen third. One guy had Lamar fourth. How do you have Lamar fourth? But okay. 27 first place votes for Allen and 23 for Lamar. I told you this. I might have voted for Saquon. And if it's between the two for me, it was Josh Allen. And I thought there might be a little bit of Lamar fatigue.
Yeah, it was a 3-man race with Allen, Jackson, and Barkley. And I am like on board with however you wanted to rank them this season. I would have probably leaned Josh Allen myself, but him at 1. Had a strong conversation for Barkley at 2, but those were the guys that were above everyone else.
Yeah. So that's the big award. So what do they do to the guy who doesn't win? He usually gets Offensive Player of the Year. That's Lamar Jackson, but it's not. And I like where they went here. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley, 9th player in history to rush for 2,000 yards. I love what they did with that. You're not going to give him MVP the year he had. I absolutely am good with that. And I told you, I might have voted for him as MVP, so I'm good with that. You good with him being Offensive Player of the Year and not Lamar?
Yes.
Good.
Like he deserved that recognition for the season he had.
Yep. Defensive Player of the Year, Broncos Patrick Surtain. First cornerback to win this in 5 years. Gave up only 2 touchdowns and 306 receiving yards. That's crazy. When you think about playing, 17 games, and dude only got charged with 306 yards. That's the 3rd fewest among corners with at least 50 targets ever, according to ESPN's research. It's a hell of a year by Patrick Surtain.
Outstanding.
I think I'm a little surprised he won it.
I am too. Usually just like, all right, was it
Which edge
TJ
rusher?
Watt,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, and then boom, they drop a Pat Surtain on you.
Yeah. No, I'm actually, I kind of dig it. 0 surprise at Offensive Rookie of the Year. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels. First rookie in league history to go over 3,500 yards and rush for more than 800 yards in a season. Bo Nix had a really nice year, and in many years, Bo Nix would have been your guy. But I think this was pretty cut and dry and inarguable.
There's no question. Jaden Daniels had a special season. Very strong class for the rookie quarterbacks and the rookie skill players overall. It was a fantastic season for so many of them because then also, Brock Bowers with what the numbers that he was putting up for the Raiders this season. But, Jaden Daniels, it's a regular season award, and he was that good in the regular season to put them in position to go to the NFC Championship.
Look, I wouldn't have a problem in many years if you told me Brock Bowers. Jaden Daniels was special. And again, we've had a conversation about him having maybe the best rookie season ever in the history of the NFL. So, yeah, that's Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse of the Rams led all rookies with 18 quarterback hits, 50 pressures. He had 4.5 sacks, part of that young Ram defense that got them back to the playoffs, that won the NFC West. I got no problem with Jared Verse being Defensive Player of the Year either.
Just another outstanding find for the Los Angeles Rams, a fantastic organization when it comes to their scouting and then what they're able to do in the draft. And Verse was a difference maker for the Rams.
Yeah. All right, sometimes I wonder what comeback Player of the Year. And I guess coming back from injury, right? Joe Burrow was really good. He was, did I tell you, 5th in the, 5th, 1, 2, 3. He was 4th in the MVP voting. He had 15 third-place votes, 1 second-place vote. Joe Burrow was comeback player of the year, led the NFL with almost 5,000 yards, 49-18, and 43 touchdown passes. He's been nominated for this. He put in the work. We're going to have a conversation about Joe Burrow as we move forward because he's been very vocal about wanting the team to sign Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And I see no possible way that you're paying your quarterback $55 million. You're going to pay 2 receivers over $30 million and still have a defense. And so it's not going to happen. And I'm wondering if he's just setting it up to say, hey, they didn't do, they're not committing. I want to get out of here at some point.
I think there's an element of that. I also think it doesn't hurt to have a player's backseat who's all said the same thing about Trey Hendrickson, who's defensive end.
Yeah. How you paying all those dudes?
You're not, but Joe's like, hey, I got your back.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can. Say we tried. And I appreciate that. But I get it. He was hurt. But we're really saying one of the best quarterbacks in the league is the comeback player of the year. Like, that's the only one I was like, really? Like, you can give it to, like, J.K. Dobbins. Came back from an Achilles injury at the running back position. You had to give it to Joe Burrow.
Yep. You and I are on the same page with this. Coach of the year could have gone a lot of ways, man. Coach of the year, you could have made argument for a lot of dudes. Andy Reid would be one of them. Everybody hates Nick Sirianni, but, well, he'd be one of them. Sean McDermott would actually be one of them. You could have made a case for, hell, Sean Payton for that matter. Sean McVay, right? I mean, they're Todd Bowles. Coach of the year, Dan Campbell. It was a regular season award. Dan Campbell could have been coach of the year. I had no problem. I don't have a problem with this because I think there were so many of them. Kevin O'Connell, the former San Diego State quarterback and the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, is the coach of the year after leading the Vikings to 14 victories, coming off of what they came off of last year. And I get it, right? They took a huge dip the year prior. They draft a quarterback who gets hurt in camp, relying on a guy who has been a journeyman, right? And a journeyman quarterback turns into a guy who in November was in the conversation for most valuable player. They win 14 games. They're playing for their division on the last game of the year. It's a regular season award. I'm good.
100%. What he did with Sam Darnold to have the Vikings in position to compete in the postseason, to give Sam Darnold life in his NFL career. Kevin O'Connell. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
All right, how do you feel about it? MVP, Josh Allen. Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Jay Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. Joe Burrow's your Comeback Player of the Year, and Kevin O'Connell is your Coach of the Year. Jared Allen, Eric Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp go into the Hall of Fame. And Marshall Faulk's the coach. See that? Marshall Faulk is going to be the running back coach with Deion in Colorado. And when he was here a couple of years ago, he was telling us he's got a relationship with Deion. In fact, Marshall's going to be back in New Mexico coming up in April. He's going to be in Gallup at the big Rotary fundraiser that they have that Sammy Chota puts on. Sammy C puts that out in Gallup in I think April 18th or something, that Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. But Marshall's going to be back in town, and he was great. All right, can we take a break? I mean, I imagine we can. 505-246-0610 is how you get here, all right? 505-246-0610. Emails come in. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Hey, don't forget UFC 312 tomorrow, and you can watch the big epic rematch with no cover at Twin Peaks. UFC branded hat giveaways at Twin Peaks, plus you get to score buckets of Bud Light and bites for your entire crew, starting just $13 all days on Saturdays. That's at Twin Peaks. They got a whole lot going on over there. Coming up next week, celebrate National Drink Wine Day at Twin Peaks. Half-price wine by the glass, house-made sangria. You pair those perfect pours with scratch-made food while enjoying the ultimate lodge experience. Pricing starts at $5. Pricing and availability varies by location, so check with your local Twin Peaks for availability there. And then coming up later this month is National Margarita Day, and they'll do that well as well. Refreshing margarita specials. Pricing starts just at $5. You'll be able to sip on the $5 house margarita, $6 Peaks margarita, and the $12 spicy strawberry margarita. Treat yourself the $9 Twin Peaks Barrel Select margarita. It's all available by locations. And it's your spot for lunch. Best sports bar in town, Twin Peaks. Get yourself over there. You know you love it. The food's great. The scenics are great. And you can't beat the drink specials over at Twin Peaks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Super Weekend coming up. The home for the Super Bowl is right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal exclusively. Your coverage will start on Sunday, 8 in the morning with Tailgate Talk. Then Westwood One's coverage will take you all the way up to kickoff of Super Bowl 59. 4:30 Chiefs and Eagles on the Sports Animal. And remember, 2 Men On is out in New Orleans. Van and Fred are on Radio Row. You can catch their action at 4 o'clock today. Coverage presented by Cornish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations, and airport parking, safe, secure, and the best price to park at the Sunport. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Does it feel like Super Week to you?
It's been a little different. The NBA, out of nowhere, became a gigantic talking point with the trade deadline. And I think Steve Kerr earlier this week saying, man, I'd love to move this to the All-Star break because of the challenges it puts on your team. Like, I was watching the Warriors-Lakers last night, and I had to look up. I'm like, who are half of these dudes playing for the Warriors?
But that ended up
Right
closer.
now-
When I saw it right before halftime, it was like 24 points. I'm like, I didn't even look at it again. It ended up an 8-point game.
But with what the NBA accomplished this week, it ain't moving. If they're gonna have a trade deadline this, which is gonna be few and far between, because you're not getting a superstar traded at the deadline out of nowhere, and then the amount of names. Like, this was a special trade deadline for the NBA.
Luka, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler. And those are big names that got moved. Like, I don't even know that I think in baseball names like that get moved.
No.
I mean, baseball's always been like this hyperactive trade deadline, right?
You should get a lot of pieces in bullpen arms. And maybe
Justin Verlander's a
number
starter.
3 starter.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Something along those-
even like a Justin Verlander's been moved. The Dodgers are always making a move to get something. Have you watched what the Dodgers have done in the offseason?
I don't even want to talk about it right now.
I mean, you want to talk about an FCS All-Star team. They got an MLB All-Star team.
When are they going to pay all these people, though?
Look, man, in 2072.
Just going to, like,
these guys are gonna
pretend
get paid.
like, oh, we forgot about it. We lost a contract. We don't owe you this money anymore.
I promise you these guys will save their contracts. And their kids will, or whomever it is will. Yeah, a lot of it's deferred money. It's crazy the money they're spending. But you're right. Jimmy Butler is in San Francisco. He's with the Warriors. I wanted to be happy again. Jimmy Butler was one of the more likable, I don't want to say superstars because I think he's a superstar, but stars. Is that fair? He's not LeBron, Luka, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, but he's half a level below. Is that a fair way to say that?
Playoff Jimmy and NBA Finals appearance, yes.
Playoff Jimmy is legit. Did he tarnish his whole? And I'm not sure he gives a damn because he's getting paid. But the image, the persona, the likability that was Jimmy Butler.
No, because I don't think it was that big to begin with. I do think that this is a ridiculous statement. That he sits there and I'm happy again. You're the one who withheld your services. You're the one that made it a bad situation in Miami. And now you're just happy to be happy. Like, you did this to yourself. Own it. I'm trying to blame it on Pat Riley. Like, they gave you a gigantic deal. They were loyal to you in Miami. You wanted to be done, fine. But the way you handled it was terrible.
Well, and I think we've all been wondering what happened, right? And he was asked, what made you want to leave? Right? He made it clear that his time in Miami essentially ended when his relationship with Pat Riley, their team president, and the whole organization soured. So he was asked, what made you want to leave? And his question was, that's a good question, actually. Or his answer was, that's a good question, actually. It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe just a lot of talking back and forth, and sooner or later, talking's got to stop. What does that mean?
That they didn't give you exactly what you wanted?
When talking goes back and forth, you don't both get what you want. They want something, you want something, and you're not going to both get what you want. In fact, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. He was suspended 3 times this season, twice for conduct detrimental to the team. He missed a team flight. I don't understand it. And I guess we don't have to. This is one of those things where we all want to understand it because it was so public. And it's not our right to know what happened. It's just not. He said, quote, all that's behind me moving forward. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be wanted again. I got a feeling I'm going to be back in a big way too. So I'm smiling. I've been going at it. I've been training. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I know that I have my joy back now. I'm in a different situation, different group of guys, end quote. Just want to be happy again. All right. Look, I get it, man. If you're in a spot and it sours and there's no coming back, we've all been there. I'm just curious, though. You were, for a minute, the face of that franchise, weren't you?
Yeah, it soured because of Jimmy Butler.
I think so, too.
There's zero ownership in any of this from Jimmy Butler. He's trying to blame it on Pat Riley and an organization that, okay, they didn't give you a contract extension at 35 years old, but they were still willing to pay you $52 million this year. You had a player option for $52 million next year.
Yeah. How many more $52 million years do you have when you hit your late 30s? And with all due respect, I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody how much is enough money, but how many more do you need? You know, I'm not going to tell you how to live and how much money, and if you want to give me another $52 million, like I'm sure I'm going to like it. But realistically, you got to get to the playoffs before you're playoff Jimmy, right? Like, you got to get to the playoffs before playoff Jimmy can come out. If you don't qualify for the playoffs, what good is playoff Jimmy?
Doesn't exist.
Right? It's kind of Joe Burrow's really good. And, wow, did you see him in the postseason? But no, I don't really remember it. No, I didn't. And I sure as hell didn't see it this year. Well, it's not his fault, but he didn't get there. They got to spread some of that money around. This one's really weird to me. I think he's going to be good there. I don't know how good I think they're going to be with Jimmy Butler. They got smoked. When I was watching them last night, and Steph couldn't hit a shot in the first half. Like, it was, whoa. And this is one of those off nights where, I mean, dude couldn't hit a shot. He ended up 6 of 20. He took 23 pointers last night. He took 23-point shot field goals. Do you know how many?
Nothing. Peter's going to shoot.
This cannot be right. Do you know how many shots do you think the Warriors took in a game last night? And I guess I haven't stared at a bunch of box scores. These numbers seem huge to me.
97?
101.
Okay.
Out of those, how many do you believe were threes?
I'm going to say over 50%.
Yes. 53 of the 101. And they made 16 of them. And they made 16 of them. 2-point shots count more than 3-point misses. Correct? 2-point makes count more than 3-point misses. Like, it's okay to take a mid-range jumper or go to the rim every now and then.
So there's the average number of possessions in NBA games, 96.
Is it that high? Yeah, the Lakers, I guess, the Lakers only took 78 shots last night. So possessions. So if you say you have 12 turnovers a game or 13 turnovers a game, would you say 96? That cuts you down to about 83 shots. Yeah, Lakers only had 78. 101's a lot of shots, dude. And they lost the game 120 to 112 to the Lakers. They got work to do to make the play-in tournament, those Golden State. They're out of it right now. They're tied with Sacramento, but sitting on the outside looking in. Now, granted, they're 3.5 games behind Minnesota for 6. That's how that always is. Clippers, Mavericks, Suns, and Kings are currently in the play-in tournament. I got to believe Golden State will work their way in. They got in last year and lost in the play-in, didn't they? No. All right. Mo Maes is going to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock. Senator, one of the senators who is sponsoring the bill to find state money to help NIL for both New Mexico and New Mexico states. We're going to talk to him at 8. JJ, let's take a little bit of a break here. I'll tell you about IPS before we get out of here because I really believe in what they do. It's affordable private security for your home and your business. International Protective Service, you've seen them all around town. You've seen them at Target. You've seen them at stores. You've seen them in your neighborhood. They protect what you've worked hard to build. I've worked with them for years. They come by every day. When I travel, they're by multiple times a day. They'll pick up newspapers, roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day, pick up stuff that's left on your porch, whatever it is you need to get the mail when you're gone. Give your home that lived-in look. They also provide alarms, camera systems, and they got a state-of-the-art facility that monitors it all. It all raises the level of security around your home and business. So the question when I ask you every day, who's watching your home when you're gone? Make it the good guys. Make sure it's IPS. Property crime's real. Don't wait to be a victim. The number is 505-897-2420. Area code 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe a better and safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande,
generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Super Bowl this weekend here on The Sports Animal. It'll be the Eagles and the Chiefs. Who you got? 505-246-0610. Who you got? What's your favorite prop bet? Is it the extension of a dynasty and the solidifying of them as being the greatest team ever? Or is it the Eagles' turn? I want to hear your thoughts. New Mexico State, the Conference USA, came out with their football schedules yesterday. There's no TV times and dates announced, but you got an idea. Hey, did you see New Mexico State's going to play their spring game in Artesia down at Bulldog Bowl, which is one of the most iconic football stadiums in the state for high school? They're going to do it at 10 in the morning on April 5th, 200 miles off of campus. They start spring practice on March 3rd. And they're going to wrap it up down at Bulldog Bowl. I'm going to tell you, I kind of like it.
I like that a lot.
They're all trying to go find fans, right? I think we hear all the time about who's the state school. Well, it's UNM's the flagship state school. New Mexico State, man, has long tried to claim Southern New Mexico. And you're going to take your spring game to the hotbed where some of the best players are, where they is there a place that they love football better than Southeast New Mexico in this state? There isn't, right? And you take it to, I love it. I love what they're going to do. But the schedule came out, and they're going to open up with home games, a home game against Bryant. That's their FCS game on August 30th, Labor Day weekend. Tulsa will come in. That's an American school, American Athletic Conference school. Then they go conference game at Louisiana Tech. They'll get a bye and then come up to Albuquerque to play the Lobos. The Aggie Lobo game is in Albuquerque. This year it'll be September 27th. Then they go into that October midweek schedule game, right, where they play, Conference USA plays those Tuesday, Wednesday games and Thursdays. So they'll play 5 days after the Aggies and Lobos play. They'll host Sam Houston on a Thursday. They get another bye, then they'll go to Liberty on a Tuesday, and then they will play one of the new schools in the conference, Missouri State, in Las Cruces on a Wednesday. And then back to the weekend schedule at Western Kentucky, home against Kennesaw State, and then they'll play their Power 4 game. JJ, you know, when the SEC kind of takes that week back in November, the Aggies are going to go to Knoxville. You ever been to a game in Knoxville? That's a place I'd like to go. Where I mean, supposedly that's one of the great. I've been to Knoxville, but I've never been to a game at Tennessee.
Don't get east of the Mississippi much.
Yeah, that one's right. Well, they boat up right on the water. That 100 and something thousand, and that would be a fun one. And then they'll close out at
it's we live in West Coast bias land.
Oh, that's right. There's I don't even know what we are. I told you we're undefinable. Remember, I told you when we got back from all those things at Michigan, they're like, okay, all these orientations. All right, so who's from Michigan? Okay, oh wow, okay, a lot of in-state. Who's from the East Coast? Oh wow, okay. And who's from the South? Anybody from the South? Oh yeah. And what about the West Coast? Wow, so we have people from everywhere. We're like, wait, where the hell are we from?
About us.
The mountain time zone doesn't exist, man.
From the mountain southwest-ish
Yeah,
area.
no, it was like, and I remember saying, what about the mountain time zone?
Like
people are looking like, who the hell are you?
Mountain time.
What does that even mean? Yeah, and Addie was saying, like, they don't even know. Like, they have no idea what a mountain time zone is. She was saying there was something that came up, and they're like, is that even a real thing? They don't exist. But yeah, that's the Conference USA schedule. I know the Big 12 schedule came out the other day. The SEC's been out. So I got to believe the Mountain West schedule's coming out any day now, right? Probably next week. And I was with a lot of the football conference guys last week in Vegas, and they've all been working on that and everything. They're hard to put together, man. And especially now with the big conferences where you don't play anybody or don't play everybody. And, you know, who don't you play? Where will you play? It's then the computers do it all. So, yeah, that's out there. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Marshall Faulk, the new running back coach for Colorado, the University of, which is crazy. And what do you make of Jameis? So Jameis Winston is a free agent quarterback. Who'd you tell me he was doing TV for?
Fox Sports, and it's been one of the best things
really
this entire week.
So I've seen
Jameis
none of it.
Winston. Need to pull up the gram, man.
Okay, what's his shtick? Like, it's
just him. There's no shtick. It's him, and it's the full Jameis Winston experience the entire time. Like, it's like him Monday was a blast. Like, because the guys open up and they see Jameis Winston, so they let their guard down a little bit, and then he throws him a curveball, and just him being him. Like, they let him. When it was like bikes where two people sat on the back, he was driving through town doing that. It's like all this stuff, and you're just like, there's just so much joy in this dude.
Good.
It's just the greatest thing ever.
So he's gonna be really good in media.
Yes,
he'll be really good.
Like, he was. You know, have you seen Shad Khan pulled his like yacht up?
Yeah.
And he was like outside trying to get someone's attention, like to get on the boat, and no one would acknowledge him, and it's just great.
Love that. Is he gonna play again?
Yeah, Jameis Winston is a backup quarterback in this league, 100%.
Quote Jameis, I'm praying for another opportunity to sling that pill and prove these owners and head coaches that I can be a trustworthy quarterback. I think that's the only thing I haven't proven since I've been in this league. I've had the numbers in terms of statistics, but man, I haven't won enough games, end quote. I want to prove that I can be a trustworthy quarterback. I think that's the only thing I haven't proven. With all due respect, is that kind of one of those things you kind of need to prove?
Jameis Winston, backup quarterback. The experience is unlike many in the NFL.
Yeah, it's something. But he's out there, so I can catch him on Fox. Is it Fox who's got the Super Bowl?
They do. Tom Brady.
So Tom Brady's got. All right, good. The Saquon props in the Super Bowl are going like crazy. All the overs are going up. 20% of Super Bowl prop wagers are coming in on Barkley on ESPN Bet. That's more than any other player. More money than on Mahomes, on Kelsey combined. The house wants no touchdowns for Saquon. If I told you only one of them were going to score a touchdown, it's going to be Jalen Hurts or Saquon. Who would you take? I mean, with the brotherly shove, it's hard not to think, right?
I'd still Saquon.
You go Saquon? Fanatics Sportsbook says that Barkley to score a touchdown was included in more Super Bowl parlays than any other wager. That includes the point spread or the money line. He's in bets to touchdown score markets. BetMGM's got bets for Barkley to score a touchdown, to score 4 touchdowns at 66-1. He's not going to score 4.
Not getting 4.
What if you saw 50-1 to score 3? That's enticing, isn't it?
Yeah. Got to risk the biscuit.
Barkley is the most popular bet to win MVP at Caesars. I mean, the odds are historically in favor of quarterbacks, right? Barkley's got the second shortest odds at plus 250. Mahomes is plus 120. Barkley's the first non-quarterback to have the shortest MVP odds on his team in the past 2 decades. Jalen Hurts is plus 360 to get the MVP. The over-under on his rushing yards was sitting at 110.5 on Friday. That's this morning. It's up from 106.5 the other day. He's the first player with a Super Bowl rushing prop over 100 yards in more than 15 years, according to ESPN. Barkley went over his rushing prop on 15 of 19 games this season. It's pretty good odds betting him to go more or less. What's the game you play, more or less? Or you can't say over and under? Is that right? By the way, the Chiefs have not allowed a running back to reach 100 yards in a game this season. Something has to give. What you staring at?
Oh, just the bet sheet I picked up at San Diego Sportsbook last night.
Nice.
Hosting Globo Talk.
They got props on there?
They do.
Anything you like?
Just some of the stuff, you're like, you just really, man, you got to really be into it. One of them is actually a Chiefs gross punt yardage in the game. 165.5 yards.
How many gross yards will the punt god have? Matt Araiza may get a ring. After all that's said and done, how cool would that be, by the way?
You know, the odds that either team has a 10-plus yard rushing play on the first drive.
On the first drive? I like that.
For them, like a bunch of little things you can
rushing
put together.
Play.
Yeah.
I'll take the Eagles for that. I would love that. Yep. All right, let's take a short break. You're going to listen to music. We're, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're having a little problem with our system here today. The commercials didn't load. You can't. It's not like the old days where you just push buttons and whatever. But when we come back, one of the authors and sponsors of Senate Bill 268, which is the bill in the state legislature which is suggesting money to help NIL, to give money to New Mexico and New Mexico State to stay competitive in sports. Senator Mo Maestas is scheduled to be with us. When we come back, I want to talk to him about it, where that money would go, and what else is going on sports-related up in Santa Fe. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on a Friday. Thanks for being with us. Man, we can't even hoe, huh? Without that music. Can we hoe with that music? We're able to do that? All right, we might be able to hoe. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
System is just been jacked by the demons today, so it's why you get music during commercial breaks and not the big voice open, but it is the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your exclusive home of the Super Bowl, where you'll hear the Chiefs and the Eagles coming up this weekend. All right, I've been looking forward to doing this, and I got wind that this was going to happen a little while back, and your response to this has been really interesting. There is a bill up in the state legislature. As you know, the 60-day session is going on in Santa Fe right now. It is Senate Bill 268, sponsored by Senators George Munoz, Benny Shendo, and Mo Maestas. And the bill would help with NIL, name, image, and likeness, for New Mexico and New Mexico State. It is part of the world now. Paying athletes is part of it, and this would essentially give each of those athletic departments $2.5 million to help fund their name, image, and likeness. One of the sponsors of the bill is a forward-thinking guy who understands sports, who loves sports, has always been a friend of the sports community. Senator Mo Maestas of Albuquerque joins us this morning. Good morning, Senator. How you living?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Appreciate this. This has been interesting. So when this came out, I was watching some of the response, and one guy says, "That's it. They need to give $10 million." And another guy says, "What the hell are we giving the players any money? The teachers need money." The answer is you can still fight crime, still fund teachers and find nurses, and still keep our athletics competitive. I think is kind of what you would tell people.
That's the key, Jeff. That's the key. It's not an either or. It's not money here or money there. We are sitting on literally billions of dollars of reserves, of cash reserves in various accounts. And so it either collects dust, or we think creatively, how do we spend it to make our state move forward and live in a beautiful place.
One of the ones I got, well, we need to fix the stadium. Why don't they put that money into the stadium? And I said, first of all, yes, we do. We do. $2.5 million isn't fixing University Stadium, and capital money is different than money that goes into the budget, which is House Bill 2.
No, that's true. And I think if the stadium needed a $20, $30, $50 million redo, you got to put people in the stands and you got to build that momentum. I think people would think we're crazy if we wanted to build a new stadium today, but if we built a team, started winning games, going to a bowl, having excitement every Saturday afternoon, then we can talk about, the next step for the programs.
So that's kind of, for you, chicken or egg thing is you got to get people in the stadium before, because there's a whole theory that, people need a stadium to go to, and I think you'd agree. I mean, that stadium was built in the late 60s, and very little has been done to it. It does need a renovation.
No, it sure does, but I think this is the quickest way and the most quantifiable way we can invest in the programs.
Yep.
If we give 2.5 to each program, frees up some liquidity within the departments. They spend the money on NIL and keep the players happy and the students. I think we can build some really successful programs here. And then that first guy that said, why aren't they giving 10? That's the guy that hopefully will win the day.
Yeah. He's Senator Mo Maestas of Albuquerque, state senator, and he's one of the sponsors of Senate Bill 268. Mo, why was this important, and how did you settle at the number $2.5 million, you and George and Benny?
I think every listener here loves sports and appreciates it and understands it, but we're looking at it from an economic development standpoint. Our university, college football is reality. It's the face of our respective universities. The Aggies have had success, and all their alumni base is excited. Hopefully, Lowell fans remember our golden age, 35,000 people every Saturday. So we just started a conversation last 3-4 months. George Munoz from Gallup is the key guy. He's the chairman of Senate Finance. We ran the numbers, and the bean counters are excited about the proposition. It's the quickest and easiest way we can build success, and that is put money into NIL.
Is this the way I read the bill? And I'm calling it up again, but the way I read it is NIL. It isn't sports specific. You've been talking mostly football. Is this specifically for football? Men's basketball would be included in this. What's the intent to spend the money when it goes to these two schools?
Great question. I think the language is going to be vague. Keep in mind, Senate Bill 268 is not going to make the finish line, but we'll have maybe one or two really great hearings explaining our rationale, and then we'll put that money into our Appropriations Act, House Bill 2. So the language in House Bill 2 probably will just be good old-fashioned, 2.5 to each, to the Aggies, 2.5 to the Lobos, and then the departments will, hopefully free up some of their money so they don't have to spend it on this or that. And then next year we come back and we quantify it. How much ticket sales, how much apparel, how much excitement, how many new applicants to the universities, what is it doing for our state, pride and community and things like that. I think over time we can continue to make this part of state government because, once again, it's not an either or. These aren't the last dollars we're spending. We're literally sitting on billions of dollars at the state level. It's unprecedented. We're the envy of every state government in the country.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money. It's a small fraction of the budget. So if the intent is to put it into House Bill 2, and again, State Senator Momay Estes is with us, so it goes into House Bill 2, it would just say, for the purposes of name, image, and likeness, to be used for that?
You know what? I don't think so. I think it'll just say it'll be on top of the
whatever else they get
the current budget, because we give money to Eastern Western Highlands State, UNM. This will be on top of it. This will be on top of that normal appropriation, and it'll just be $2.5 million to the regents at New Mexico State University for athletics.
Yeah, and I know there's that contingency at New Mexico State for an athletic director with 5 years of experience in NIL. And I'm just going back, Mo. I don't know, is NIL even 5 years old? I know Amber Burge is they're calling it the acting athletic director down there. But where did that language come from? What was the impetus on that?
Well, you know what? I don't know. I think that was the chairman's language. We want state to succeed. We want them to scour the earth for a 5-year veteran. But no, that's true. But New Mexico played a key role in the development of NIL. California passed its law in 2017 to be active in 2023, and that created the buzz. We passed our law in 2021 to go into effect July 1st, 2021. The NCAA capitulated the very day before New Mexico and 3 other states were to go online. So we played a wonderful role in the development of NIL. That language obviously is not going to be in the final bill, but we want a state to really scour the earth to get a really qualified AD to move that program forward.
Kind of a message from Santa Fe to say, hey, yeah, this is what we want. But, yeah, I don't even think it's been around 5 years to have 5 years of experience with it.
No, the 5 years maybe a misprint.
He is State Senator Momay Estes of Albuquerque, one of the sponsors of Senate Bill 268. All right, so, like sum it up. I want to go on to a couple other things, but just so sum it up. This bill is intended to do what and why is it there?
So this bill is to give extra resources to New Mexico State and New Mexico University athletic departments, hopefully to be used for NIL and free up other budgets within those departments. We want to succeed. We want to win. We want to create community here in New Mexico. We want to join the rest of the country in this wonderful thing called college football. The money's not D1 football specific, but that's where I would spend the money because it trickles down to all the other sports. Football has the biggest contracts, biggest TV, biggest stadiums, and that's what we really need to join the rest of the country. We've invested the least amount of D1 football in the country, and it shows. And this is quantifiable. We invest in the student athletes. We'll get a return on investment tenfold.
How's the response been when you've had the conversation? Look, I guess legislators, not everybody understands athletics, and I think people think it's just games, but it's big business. It's part of tourism. It's part of economic development. I know you've been a supporter of what we've done with the Isleta New Mexico Bowl for the 20 years that we've been in existence, and we see quantifiable numbers, and we saw that the report that it came out that pumps millions of dollars into our economy. How do you explain it, and how is it being received by people who may not understand the value of having athletics play at a competitive level and what it does economically and other places for our state?
It's being received quite well. Well, one is people don't think we're crazy. That's number one.
That's
number
a start.
People realize it's not about sports or our love of sports necessarily. It's about how do we build a state, how do we move our state forward. And this is probably the easiest, cheapest way to do that in terms of increasing the profile of our universities in our state. It is economic development. It is real. It took Rocky Long 5 years to build a program. We could build a program in 2 years and be competitive. We look at what happened to the University of Colorado with its applications. Its applications are going through the roof.
That's your best one.
That's a unique example.
No, but look, Mo, that's your best one. Why would do you think anybody would know what a Gonzaga is if it wasn't for their basketball program? You think anybody would know what Butler is if it wasn't for what they do football-wise? Nobody would know Boise's even in the state of Idaho if it wasn't for what they do football-wise.
Exactly. Well, when you think of the state of Nebraska, what do you think about?
You think of Big Red
football. The Cornhuskers. I mean, it's the face of the entire state, not just that university.
Yeah. No, I think what you guys are doing is right, and whatever the number is, you guys figured out a number that makes sense for the state budget, for the universities, and I love the way you're thinking. Anything else that we need to know about sports related that's moving through legislature that you want people to get behind?
Yes, once we get this crime package on the Gov's desk, we'll take a breather. We're hitting the ground running up here, but there'll be some good. The Athletic Commission, we're going to revise the Athletic Commission, which essentially regulates boxing and MMA. We're going to take away the fees for promoters and hopefully bring some big national promoters to the state. There's a lot of talk about redoing the state fair and hopefully moving forward on a indoor modern arena. And then I'm going to do a bill, Jeff, that may ruffle some feathers, but dealing with high school sports, dealing with the ability to change schools or change towns if you want to. Believe it or not, there's a rule that a private school cannot give an athletic scholarship in New Mexico. That's just, you have such antiquated laws. I want to change them and, try to increase the ability for high school students to succeed.
Hey, Mo, is the president's executive order on transgender athletes and if you're assigned male, you're a biological male at birth, that you cannot play in women's sports or girls' sports, has that had any effect locally, statewide? I don't know that I've heard of any cases of transgender athletes in this state, but has that been of any discussion up there?
I don't believe it has any effect here in New Mexico. I can't think of a single example. The only one I could think of is the volleyball player at San Jose State, but I don't think it affects us at all. I think it boosts morale. It makes perfect sense to most listeners, and I'm glad we got that behind us so we can move forward.
Right on. All right, it's Senate Bill 268. Do you need people? Do people need to call and help support this, or you think this is just not going to get over the finish line? It's just going to end up in House Bill 2, and it'll get in the budget.
Right. It's all about conversations. We're going to have some great hearings and explain what you just described to the rest of our colleagues. If the listeners know a politician personally, call him or text him. Definitely send an email to your local senator or House member. Let's just create a buzz. Let's create a buzz, and let's get it to the finish line.
All right, my friend. I know you're busy. I know there's a lot going on up there. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. We'll talk to you later in the session.
All right. Drive safe, everybody. Thank you, Jeff. JJ.
Be well. He is State Senator Mo Maestas. You can get in on what you heard there on Senate Bill 268 to help fund the NIL programs at New Mexico State and the University of New Mexico. John Traub's going to be with us coming up at the bottom of the hour. That would be 8:30 to you and me. We're going to talk about the big job fair that they've got going on at Isotopes Park this weekend. Valentine's Day is around the corner. You're planning on taking that special someone out. That means you'd better make sure your car is in tip-top clean shape. If you need some life-saving cleanup on your vehicle, get a hold of my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is sensational. They go above and beyond, make sure your car looks and feels and smells like brand new. It's just you're busy out making those arrangements for big Valentine's Day. They'll make it easy. They will come to you. You don't leave the comfort of your office or your home. They come to you. It's unbelievable. They bring their mobile unit. They're done. You're working in your office because you're busy. You outside and your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off a lot. New car feel without that new car price. They've been awarded Best of the City because they are best of the city. Get a hold of On the Spot Automotive Detailing. You can book and buy online. Oh, and by the way, great gift. Still looking for a gift? On the spot automotive detailing. Go to otsdetailing.com. You can book and buy online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone.
NIL and giving it to players. And look, it's I don't know that it's much different than in this case. It sounds like, JJ, the way it's going to be, it's going to end up just going into House Bill 2 and going into their budget with the intent that they use it for that. But that's just the cost of doing business in college athletics these days. And I think you all know that New Mexico State and New Mexico Athletics both have always gotten and both get money from the state legislature. So essentially what they're doing is asking for more. And I don't even know that they asked for more. The senators are asking for more to help go towards this new wrinkle, if it is, or new era or new way of conducting business in college athletics.
Yeah, if you can do this and it's a part of the game that's being played, absolutely put it out there. And we were working on a lot of stuff back here, so I wasn't able to jump in. But the only thing I do not agree with is contingent on New Mexico State hiring.
Well, I asked you that.
Like that. Yeah. Why shouldn't Amber Birds get an opportunity to do AD down there?
Yeah, and
that's
I think
the only thing I don't.
I think he acknowledges, that was something the chairman threw in, and I think what he said is they want to make sure that New Mexico State's focused on getting a leader in there that is familiar with it. And I don't know if Amber is or not. I think she is, but I don't know that
athletics.
I don't know that anybody's got 5 years of experience in NIL. Right? It's been around for 3.
Yeah, yes. Not.
Yeah, and like he said, I don't think this bill's going to get the finish line. I mean, it's not going to cross and get in. It's going to get put in the budget in House Bill 2, and there's a lot of things in the budget that are that way. So, all right, if you want to get in, you can at 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610 is how to call us. You can send text to that same number. The email's coming this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. You got Super Bowl coming up this weekend. You can Ireland. This week we're playing a game in Australia and Ireland. Is that what I'm seeing now? Steelers are going to host a game in Ireland this year. First regular season game there. Are you a big fan of all these games? I understand what they're trying to do. I think. Spread the love of our game, and this game's so unique. It's not really played anywhere else at a high level. To me, this is different than soccer, right? This game feels like it's so popular, but it's not played. Soccer's played everywhere. I was having a conversation with someone in Vegas the other day who's in an MLS city. He's like, it's minor league soccer, man. MLS is minor league soccer, and he gets so mad dealing with the soccer people in their stadium. But he said, look, man, it's not nearly as good as any of these leagues around the world. It's not the Premier League. It's not La Liga. It's not all these leagues. But soccer's played over, so when their premier teams come over, we watch them. But it feels like it's different when our teams go over there because it's such a novelty. They don't get to see it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think it's a little easier now with a 17-game schedule to give up one of those games. Because you're always going to kind of have that odd home road split.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that this league is playing games overseas. You're going to have to most likely play one of those games. And from Brazil to now Australia, Ireland. Germany to Ireland, like you're playing ball over there.
Yeah, and they've got it figured out. And obviously, they're all being really well received. And they're selling the place out. It'll be chilly down in Australia. When the Rams going to play... I don't even know when the Rams play. Let's just say it's September. That's like March. I guess it's spring down there, right? I guess that's okay.
You know the wild thing that's actually the Rams market is Australia.
What do you mean it's their market?
Like they have like marketing rights there.
They do?
Yeah.
So, like, if the Bears wanted to go in and market there, they couldn't? I don't even understand how that works.
I don't either.
I know that they've got it kind of split up on TV markets, and I don't know how they split the LA and New York markets where there's two teams, right? So does that mean Seattle's got like Japan? I'll bet that's right then.
Well, then what does San Francisco have?
Taiwan? I don't know.
So they're just trying to get into that Russian market there.
Yeah, I had no idea. That one I did not know. All right, you need a job? You need a summer job? You're looking for, you like being at the ballpark? This is always one of those big deals and cool things that it's this weekend and they're going to get great weather for it. They're getting baseball weather to go out and get a baseball job. The job fair this weekend out at Isotopes Park. You want to work for the Isotopes this year? You can. John Traub is the general manager. Their schedule is out. Their promotions are out. Pitchers and catchers are going to report soon. And you can go out and get a job. We're going to catch up with the big dog out at Isotopes Park. General manager John Traub is going to join us next. Get everything you need to know about that. And get you excited for some baseball. Why not? It's 70 freaking degrees outside in February on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the sports animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way.
The ball game. Is there a game today? Baseball weather on February, what's today, 7, 8, whatever the hell it is? I mean, they're going to get beautiful weather for the job fair. Just hold this over till opening day, too. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Want a job? Want to work at the Isotopes? The in-person job fair is tomorrow at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park. 10 in the morning till 1 o'clock. Comb your hair. Tuck in your shirt. Sober up. Whatever it is that you got looking for a job. Go out there and bring your resume. John Traub is the general manager of the Albuquerque Isotopes. Mr. Taub, we've been doing this for a while, as my old friend Archibald Cummins once said. Mr. Taub, can I be the pronunciator at the baseball stadium? Was that close?
That's pretty good. You morph right back into that so easily. I'm very impressed.
It wasn't even me back in the day. That was our buddy Dustin Drew. Remember him? JJ back in the closet when we did the afternoon show?
Yeah, I do. Boy, it's a trip down memory lane. Right
That's
there.
how far, but you guys have been doing this. I mean, JJ and I have been doing, we've been on this show for 16 and a half years, so that's like 18, 20 years ago that guy was doing this. You've been doing this job fair for a minute. They've been pretty successful for you, huh?
We've been doing job fairs since pretty much since day one back in 03 when we didn't have a stadium yet. We had to, we were still under construction. So we did it at the convention center, and we had about 1,500 people show up for the job fair for all these part-time jobs that we had. And it's just continued. We don't get those kinds of numbers anymore, but because we've got so many people that have been hired and stay working here. We've got about 80%, 85% retention from year to year. We got so many employees here, Jeff, that have been with us for more than 20 years in a lot of different positions, ushers and ticket people and stuff like that. I mean, it's been really, really good to see people who want to be with us for so long, and every year we add new people. And so the job fair is tomorrow morning from 10 to 1 at the ballpark. We're looking for people to fill all kinds of roles, the game day seasonal positions, the bat boys, the ticket sellers, the ticket takers, people who work in retail or the fun zone or
Pro
chefs
shop,
or cooks or bartenders, you name it, man. There's so many different positions that we have, and hopefully we have something that fits everybody's schedule and interest level, and I'm sure you'll ask me more about it, but yeah, it's the lifeblood of our organization in terms of that day-to-day experience with the fans is really the event staff. So we're excited about tomorrow coming and another season around the corner here, of course.
I would direct you to abqisotopes.com, and right there on the homepage it says job fair, and click on it, and you can go through and see all the positions that are available for you with jobs descriptions, from bat person to metal detector, divester to grounds crew to pro shop attendant to ticket taker to usher, and it's all there for you. It's look, man, I was telling somebody the other day, the ballpark's what, 20, how many years old now?
23.
Yeah, and it still feels like a new facility, and what you guys have done with it, and so it's been great. And hell, pitchers and catchers report what, in like a week and a half?
Yeah, something like that. It's usually right a few days after the Super Bowl. I don't know exactly the date, but so many guys are already there because Phoenix and Scottsdale, where our club works out, so many guys live there and train there year round. So you're going to be hearing pitchers and catchers, and that's music to any baseball person's ears. And it just means that the grass will be turning green, and the weather will be hopefully staying warm. And opening night for us at home is on April the 1st, which is really, 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away? It's crazy.
Kind of weird you're opening on April Fool's Day. I don't even know if that's good or bad. I don't know what it means.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we're good.
No joke.
Let's turn this thing around and start winning some ball games.
Sure.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Let's turn it around and start winning some ball games.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. That'd be all right.
John Traub's the general manager of the Isotopes, with us this morning on the opening drive.
Well, John, I know you don't want a bunch of jokers showing up tomorrow. So what is it good for people to present themselves, have ready for the job fair?
Well, you know what, JJ? It's a great question. People ask all the time. You don't need to get dressed up in like a three-piece suit or a tuxedo or anything. Just, look presentable. You're applying for a job. We're looking for people with good personalities. We're looking for people who are going to represent us well in the front lines, dealing with the fans. We're looking for people who really want to add to and enhance the customer service experience. And that's really what our focus is here. And so we do encourage people, because it's a kind of a confined space. There's not going to be a lot of room for filling out applications. We certainly encourage people to go onto our website, get the application, fill it out in advance. That's going to help expedite the process and hopefully get people through. We generally have several hundred people now that come through the job fair. They get in line pretty early for it, and it's kind of like a speed dating concept. They come in, they sit with somebody for around 10 minutes or so, and then we'll see if there's a fit on both sides. And if we think there's an opportunity for a second interview, then we'll call people back. But the process really starts in earnest tomorrow to get these folks hired. They don't need to bring a resume. They just need to bring a good personality and a smiling face, and hopefully we can find a spot for them.
What do you got a staff the other day? You got your manager back? This all came, I mean, you probably knew this for a while, but it became public the other day. There's consistency as far as what you're doing. Pedro's coming back, and Jordan Pacheco's back. I got to believe the familiarity is good, and look, players make plays. It's what's the big club going to give you as far as players and roster, but good to have the staff back.
It is. We've known these guys for quite a while. Shoot, all of them have had some kind of dealing with us going back a number of years. Pedro's in his 5th year on our coaching staff. Pacheco, I think, is now in his 3rd year, maybe 4th year as our hitting coach. Right. Michael Ryan and Chris Mahalik, our bench coach and pitching coach, respectively. They've both been with us on the coaching staff, and they also played for us back in the day in their playing years. So we always like having that familiarity. Albuquerque is not an easy place to coach, to manage, to play, to pitch, whatever it might be. It's a pretty easy place to hit, at least for the guys who can make it look easy. But having people who know what those nuances are of the facility and the atmosphere and everything else, it's really important, and it's pretty special. You don't normally get complete coaching staff back from year to year. So this is kind of a different type of scenario, and the Rockies feel strongly about what they've got coming up in terms of players and prospects and whatnot. So looking forward to seeing how it's all going to play out.
And having that familiarity with the coaches, how does that help them when it comes to the off-the-field stuff? Because one of the big things with the Isotopes is you guys do get the players out in the community, and
Sure.
it's tough during the season, but when you have coaches that have been here, of course they're developing the talent, but then to also do the other things that stand out about this organization.
Well, we try to operate in a consistent manner, JJ, so hopefully they know what to expect in terms of the asks that we have relative to the community and involvement with the fans and special, meet the team events for season ticket members
This report
and
is
whatnot.
sponsored by
That stuff is important that they know. They know we're going to be doing it. They know how we operate. They know that I'm going to be bothering them probably way more than I should, and they know that it's a great fan base here too, right? They know what to expect. They know what we do on the field. They know the support of the fans. It's a really good situation here from a baseball perspective, a player development perspective. So, if they tell us all the nice things that we like to hear, and they all say they're excited to come back, so we're happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, the guys say it all the time. They all want to be in the big leagues, but if not, this is as good a place as there is to play at AAA. Hey, I'm just saying, there's a free agent infielder out there that's familiar with Albuquerque, and he might cost you, I'm upwards of $200 million, but Alex Bregman's still unsigned, which is crazy, by the way. A week before camp's open. Crazy,
but not that crazy, because sometimes you see some of those big names that wait until actually spring training starts before they land. You never know. Maybe he'll even show up at our job fair looking to be an usher or a bat boy or something like that. We'll probably give him an interview.
I'm going against the prop bet on that, just so you know.
Oh, come on.
not that he doesn't want to. I'm just going to guess he's going to be busy. Where do you think he ends up? Is he going back to
Detroit?
Houston?
I'm thinking. You hear Detroit, Chicago, the Cubs, Boston, or Houston. I have not spoken to anybody. I have no inside information whatsoever. But his tie with the Tigers manager, I think there's something in there that's kind of told me, but who knows? I could be completely wrong.
My daughter's hoping that happens big. I saw Sam Bregman recently. I said, hey, so we both are just going to be getting on planes and going to Michigan to see our kids here soon. And he didn't give it up. I don't think he knows either. I honestly don't. I don't think Sam knows. I don't think Alex knows where it's going to end up.
Yeah, I bet the teams don't even know themselves, right?
No, I think that's
so.
Right.
I think they've done a good job keeping everything quiet. Maybe not as quiet as the Anthony Davis-Luka trade the other day, but you know what? Guys are going to go where they're going to go, and they have to make a business decision. And wherever Alex ends up, I think it's going to be. It's going to be in Alex's best interest and his family, and he's earned that right, being a free agent and having such a good major league career as he's had. He's earned that right.
Kid who grew up at Isotopes Park. You can work at Isotopes Park this summer. The job fair is tomorrow. Opening day is April 1st. Go to abqisotopes.com. Click on the job fair. Look at what's there. Fill out the application. It's 10 to 1 tomorrow out at the ballpark. It's going to be beautiful out there. Go get yourself a job. Have fun out there. And then if you're looking for tickets, season tickets certainly are on sale. And I know that you guys have had great response to that. Man, it's crazy. We're coming up on a month and a half away from opening day.
Isn't it funny how quickly the off-season by? And, you finish one season at the end of September, and you're thinking, gosh, April, that just seems like eons away. And next thing you know, it's on you.
It's on you.
And we've got a lot of great things planned. We announced our promo calendar last week. Some other things we're working on that we have not announced yet, and after we're dotting I's and crossing T's on some of that stuff, we'll be able to announce it. So, look, we've made a 23-year history here of doing things a certain way. Fans they know what they can expect in terms of the entertainment and the promotions and all that kind of good stuff, the food, just the family atmosphere that we try to provide, and the wholesome atmosphere that we try to provide, and the customer service hopefully is top notch. And the only piece that's missing is the trophy, and we're for the on-field performance. And we're hoping, and I know a lot of your listeners are always asking about it, and we want to win just as much as everybody, Jeff. So let's put it all together this year.
All right, get out there, have fun with it. The job fair is tomorrow, and all those games will be right here on the Sports Animal, as they've always been since the Isotopes have been in existence. John, good to talk to you. We'll catch up with you soon.
Good talking to you too, my friends. Talk to you later.
He is John Traub, the big dog over at the Albuquerque Isotopes, and go get a job. Can't believe baseball's almost here. I'm looking at the schedule, man. Beanies and schedules and mariachi's night and Bark in the Park and school day and it just flags giveaway. We're going to give away Easter. You can't give Easter eggs this year, right? I mean, you can't find eggs. It can be Easter potatoes, or what are we doing this year? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
My Estes on Senate Bill 268, which would give New Mexico and New Mexico State $2.5 million each for NIL. Bourne says not a penny for NIL, Jeff. No matter what number they come up with, neither New Mexico school can compete with any Power 4 university in this escalating financial struggle in college athletics, and there's no sense in trying to keep pace. The disparity in TV revenue alone is so wide and only getting worse, so there's no reason to act like a few $1 million is going to change things. Bourne, I would argue they're not trying to keep pace with Power 4 schools. They're trying to keep pace with their peers. They're trying to keep pace with Nevada and now UTEP and Utah State, San Diego State, the teams in the pack. No, $2.5 million isn't going to help you do a damn thing if you think you're going to be Alabama or USC or Michigan.
No one's thinking that, and no one's saying that.
But they're trying to keep pace with their peer institutions. See, Bourne, here's the deal. And unless your answer is, and it might be, and I might understand where you're coming from, although I wouldn't agree. If your answer is just drop athletics completely, then that's the answer. If you're going to continue to sponsor athletics, you need to understand the new world. Paying players is not going to be an option. Once the House settlement comes down, revenue sharing is going to be a deal, and you're going to have to pay your players. Okay, NIL is going to. It's not going away. It's not this little nuisance that there was this era. This is the way it's going to be. I'm not telling you I like it. I'm not telling you I don't like it. I'm not telling you to support it. I'm telling you this is how it is. This isn't my opinion. This is a fact. And so if you're going to continue to sponsor athletics at the university level, how are you going to be competitive? Because if you're going to sponsor them, you want to be good at it. Because the reason you sponsor them is as a marketing tool, a PR tool for your school. Sometimes you got to spend some money to make some money. So it's like it's adding more money to their budget because there's another aspect of college athletics. Nobody said they're trying to keep up with the Power Fours. Mike says, I was hoping you'd ask how is this going to go over on campus, Jeff Alou? When employees find out there's no money for raises and the regular students find out their tuition and fees are being jacked up again. You think he'd have the answer? How's it going to go? Ask the students, not the senator. I don't know how it's going to go over on campus. Everybody hates when somebody else gets something. You guys are going to continue to give me reasons why it can't happen, and I'm listening to it. Like Jeremy says, here's why NIL is losing game. Jeff, the legislature thinks they're smart, finally buying a gun to bring to the fight. But when the big boys see that gun, they're going to buy a cannon. Then when the legislature buys a cannon, the big boys are going to bring a bomb. New Mexico is never going to catch up, never going to be competitive. This is from Jeremy. So what's the answer? Just quit? Don't try to. Again, you're not trying to compete with Alabama and Michigan. But can you compete with the teams, the institutions in your conference?
The answer better be yes, because if you're going to sit here and play this game like you're never going to compete, you know who's going to lose out and it's going to hurt the most?
You.
Lobo men's basketball. But everyone wants to compete at the highest level.
But everything, Lobo basketball always be it. No, it won't always, and it hasn't always. New Mexico is never going to catch up, never going to be competitive.
Not with that mindset.
So those are three. Let's just always do what we've always done. Let's not. We shouldn't play NIL, even though NIL's real. Let's sit this one out, and then wonder why you're last and everything. It's the opening drive. Kenny Thomas coming in next. Talk Lobo hoops, NBA hoops. What a week in the trade deadline. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
We're rolling through a Friday Super Bowl weekend. Lobos at Air Force tomorrow. Ladies in Vegas tomorrow. High school. You see the kid who went for 62 points last night? Rian Gonzalez from Volcano Vista last night broke the state record with 17 three-pointers in a game. He scored 62 points. Top-ranked team of the state won 98-45 over Piedra Vista yesterday. Is that a baller? Kenny Thomas is here. Let's kick it with Kenny.
You're a baller.
Well, I mean, look, I might be short, but I'm slow.
No,
I was the point guard you'd expect me to be. Like.
Exactly, because you'd have distributed to your man right here, me, man.
Yeah, I know where the ball goes.
See, but the way you are on that mic with the play-by-play, man, hey, you're a baller too, bro.
Man, the Kenny Thomas show was kicking the other night, JJ.
You got to tell JJ.
So JJ, I'm driving home, and dude calls in, and he's telling JJ, Nelly Jr. Joseph, Kenny, I loved you, man. You're great. Nelly Jr. Joseph, he's better than you, man. He'd own you. And so Kenny starts laughing. And so when I pulled over and I texted him, I'm like, no, Kenny, dude, like Nelly is better than you. And I wanted to hear that. Like, hey, you're 47 years old. He absolutely would kick your ass right now.
See, but JJ, if we were that same age, man, what do you think about that matchup right there, JJ? If I was Nelly's age and he was.
I mean, your boy's sitting right here now.
Yeah,
he can handle the truth.
No, I think KT would get buckets. I think Nelly would obviously be a good test because he's a ridiculous athlete. But there's a reason that this dude did what he did for 4 years and got the NBA.
And played 11 years in the NBA?
Yeah. Hey, what's your definition of ridiculous athlete? Nelly.
Center that's in great shape. Was on the floor for 37 minutes. Never looked like he was slowing down.
See him lead that break the other day?
Yeah. Thank God he gave that up to Dent real quick.
He
I didn't want him to fumble that thing.
No, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. But did you see when he missed layups?
Oh, y'all miss at the rim. Even you missed at the rim.
Nelly's my guy, man. Hey, come on, man.
We don't need a compliment. That guy. Look, I know how much you love that guy. You really like him.
I really do, man. JJ, I'm just kidding, man. Yeah, JJ's my boy too. But you gotta. You guys are my guys, man. Come on, I promise out there if you're listening, I'm just kidding.
No, look, I called you out. You know how good.
I mean, Nelly got Conference Player of the Week. Like, I popped that thing in my story. I tag him. I'm like, stay aggressive, big fella. One of my callers calling to the show and made a comment about Nelly wasn't here the first year that he came. All the difficulties getting here. Yeah. It was probably bearing.
It's like you trying to get eligible through the NCAA.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I had to sue them to be eligible, right? And then I came late, and then I didn't have a full preseason, right? Yeah. So basically it's the same thing what you're saying. But this year, I saw him get stronger down low to where he's establishing himself with the presence, because once you widen your stance to where you're able to establish a presence and play within that frame, because he's big, he's long, he's athletic.
What's been the biggest advancement of him this year? Because he's gotten better. And like JJ was right, he was really good defensively last year. And maybe it's just different because JT's not there. And so it's all going through him and you don't have that high low necessarily. But what have you seen the biggest improvements with him from year to year?
I think last year it was still, I think the Lobos were heavy at the guard play with House. I think with the way Nelly came in for my own, I think he was trying to fit in and establish himself. I feel like this year he's a totally different dude. I feel like he's being more patient, especially when he gets the ball in the post, right? It's a matter of establishing and seeing what you have around you. I talked to one of the coaches. He goes to my gym, and we were talking, and it was one of those things to like where they're helping him around the basket with the little baby hooks. If you remember, man, I fed off of my baby hook because I used my body because I was undersized playing the 5, right? Yeah. But the way Nelly is establishing himself in the paint, when I talk highly about Nelly, it's because I see so much more, right? And I see that he can do more to where, hey, I feel like he can have 15 and 20 every night if he really wanted to, because he is the big man of the year in this conference, and he's dominating it.
I think he's the second choice for player of the year after Donovan Dent. Kenny Thomas is in the studio. We're kicking it with Kenny.
What do you think of that two-man game that he and Dent have now?
See, I love it. I love it because if you notice earlier in the season, and I've been saying this and stressing this, because I want Nelly to go get guys on the perimeter in transition. Because if you're doing it more in transition, it's going to open up opportunities. With Dent coming downhill, then they're going to start closing the gaps on him coming downhill. So what is it going to do? It's going to naturally open up Nelly and give him opportunities outside of playing with his back to the basket and allowing himself to be able to dominate on other facets of the game. When he is playing on the defensive side like he did last year, and I feel like he's even doing it more from the standpoint, he's a rim protector more. And I feel like Atiki's that guy that should be the guy that, hey, he's a rim protector as well when he gets in. But you never know what the minutes Atiki's going to get. But I feel like Nelly's playing some great ball right now. I just want him to do more. And you guys got to keep in mind, these kids are trying to get to the next level, which is the NBA. So you got to do more and stand out more.
Winning the way they're winning, man. My favorite stat, now you may have heard me say it on the air the other night, they played 5 games against the teams with winning records in their league, right? San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State, and Colorado State. They've won all those games by double digits except that 8-point win at Colorado State. In every one of those games, they've had at least a 19-point lead.
Yeah.
Games aren't close right now. Now, they're going to play close games down the stretch, and they have played some. To me, they're the best team in this league right now, and it's convincing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it.
I feel the same way, but it's really going to be convincing when I'm not trying to jump the gun because I got Air Force this weekend, and then they got Wyoming right after
those
that,
games.
right?
Yeah.
Those games are trap games. Going down there to Air Force is cold, it's depressing, but Air Force has been playing some pretty good ball. They came down to the wire with San Diego State. I think they went into overtime at home. It's a whole different environment down there because you can go in there expecting, hey, Air Force is 0-12, 0-13 in conference right now, haven't won a game. We're supposed to go in here and dominate that game. But when I was on the show the other night doing my show, it came up to the point to where, are the Lobos a better second-half team than they are a first-half team?
I think so. Well, I don't know how you would say not after watching. They scored 52 points the other night against Utah State, outscored them 52-27. Then they scored 52 again the other night against Colorado State and outscored them 52-34. And the runs that they finished on, the 43-15 run against Utah State, 37-15 run against Colorado State. I mean, the answer would be, if they aren't there yet, they're certainly becoming that.
Yeah, I feel like they're there. Obviously, there's a couple losses that hurt them earlier in the year to where they're probably not ranked in the top 25. But I feel like after that Utah State game is going to put them in the category of their own. And then it's a whole different situation because if you have the opportunity to win conference, here you are with a target on your back, obviously going into the conference championship game.
JJ, and explain, and you pointed it out yesterday, why they're not ranked. And they're they were net ranked 41 yesterday.
Yeah.
There is no team ranked above them that has 2 losses in quad 3 and 4 like they do. That's why. There's one team above them, and it's VCU, which is crazy to me, that has a quad 4 loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to AP poll, that's just people voting. No, that's not a computer metric, so they could end up being really close to being a top 25 team next week.
I mean, everybody, I know I brought it up, but it's one of those things. I feel like the recognition is there. FS1 all the time, even though it was an 8:30 start, we still have 14,000 in the pit. It was good in there. I was waiting for the other night for the roof to pop off and stay popped off, right? But the way that they came out in the second half, I want to see them string a little bit better of a first half and then come on and close it like they have been.
And they were
closing
still
out.
up 4 in the first half,
Yeah.
and they came out real slow. They were down. Like the game got started off with that flagrant 1, 9 seconds in. It had that slow start. They were down, I think, 9-1. I don't want to not talk about what C.J. Nolan and True Washington are doing. I think defensively what True Washington does is almost, I don't want to say the catalyst, but certainly a catalyst for what's going on. Yeah. And then what C.J. gave you off the bench, 7 for 7 shooting the other night, 3 for 3. He defends. I said to JJ yesterday, to me, the biggest difference, and I think I said on your show, the biggest difference is, to me, they're bigger on the perimeter. And defensively, with Borovichinen guarding the perimeter, they are disruptive on the perimeter, and that's where the better, them being better defensively starts. That for me.
Yeah, once again, I agree with my guy, Jeff. Obviously, things start on the defensive side, right? The way that Pitino has stressed that, it's been phenomenal. The way that True has came out and got into guys, and CJ, and you can't leave out Dotson too. It's just a matter of
I like him a lot.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of who's gonna come in and be the dogs on the defensive side when it comes to the perimeter play, right? Because I feel like when the Lobos are better in the backcourt on the defensive side, it's gonna open up a lot of opportunities for second chance points and playing the passing lanes, which they did very, very, very well the other night, right? But CJ, man, I feel like he's a guy that comes out and plays with so much energy and so much passion. Obviously, there's been opportunities to where he's had a chance to score on offense, but it's about impacting on both ends. He was able to do that the other night, and it was nice. Because when Pitino has a chance to go deep in his bench, up to 10 guys, you never know who's going to be that guy.
Yeah, you didn't get any Appelhans the other night.
Right? And then somebody asked me, I'm like, what's the difference between the team last year and the team this year? It stands out. It's bench play because last year Pitino couldn't go to his bench as much as I think he can this year.
All right, Kenny Thomas is in studio. We'll kick it with Kenny a little bit more. Big week in the NBA, huh? Want to go through some of that, the Jimmy Butler stuff, and we talked with Kenny Tuesday about the big Luka for AD trade, but now that it's all settled, where does it all sit? It's the opening drive. Kenny Thomas is in studio with us. He is JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Show this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people.
Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
Kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal. Kenny Thomas.
That's that old school, man. You can actually understand what you're saying. Now you can't understand the baby and all them, man, but I like him.
He's the star of Lobo Live. He gets an afternoon game tomorrow. Lobo,
Thank
what time's
goodness.
2 o'clock tip-off, 1:30 pregame. Lobo's in Air Force over on News Radio KKOP. Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green will have that call. And after that game, you can call in and kick it with Kenny over on News Radio KKOB. Want to take a call?
Yes, sir.
Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal with Kenny Thomas and, just us Jackals. How you doing?
And the rest of the crew. Hey, guys, how you doing? Hey, just want to say something on Lobo basketball, fellas. And Kenny, I called into your show. But,
Yeah, that's who I thought this was.
I went to the game Wednesday night. I had tickets on top of Richie Pitino's head. And watching that team, I want to tell you, the Lobos look like a team that toys with the opponent in the first half, like a cat and a mouse. And in that second half, they come at you full guns. And watching the game, it was like a little at a time. They're up 5, they're up 10, no, they're up 15 now. And the way they play, the way the bench comes off, the way the guys come off the bench, the way they score, the way they play as a team, the way they buy into the coach. This coach, I'm telling you, is one of the best they've ever had here at UNM that I've seen in the last 3 years. He's been here 3 years. He's gone to an NCAA. He's gone to an NIT, and he's going to go back to the NCAA this year. As far as these trap games go up, you're going to go play whatever, Air Force and whoever, Wyoming. You said they're trap games. I think this team is going to win these. I think every game in front of them and every opponent they're going to face now, it's like they're playing for their lives, and they look great. I got tickets for Utah State. I already got them. I'm going down there for that. But I want to tell everybody out there and enjoy this. Everybody, please, you're a Lobo fan, enjoy it. Because with this NIL and all this other stuff, come next year, you may lose half of this team, all right, and the coach and everything else. So everybody, please enjoy this. Go to the games. Be there. It's very important. This is just a small opportunity for Lobo fan and for the state to make noise. And like I said, I love seeing these guys. I love watching them play. I think you got a great team here. And good luck to you guys. I'm telling you, the Lobos, to me,
it's fun.
They're going to go far. And don't be surprised if they end up in a Sweet 16, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
That's all I got, man.
Appreciate
you guys
you.
have a wonderful day.
Yeah, look, man, you don't know what's happening. Next year's not promised.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have no idea. And I tell people all the time, they're all freaked out. We may lose our coach. You might.
Yeah.
We may lose Dent. Yeah, you might. You
Yeah.
might. Enjoy what you got right now.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a choice. Like, this is it's a great run, and it's one of those things to where they just need to keep playing with the passion that they have. And I mean, obviously with this portal situation, you really, really never know. I mean, obviously Pitino ended up with 7 or 8 new guys, but come on, man, I gotta give some love to Phillip. Phillip has been playing some great defense. The defense he had on Clifford the other night, it was big, because you think about it, he's 6'8", Jeff, and he could be so dynamic because he's playing great offense right now, and I feel like he's being aggressive, but I feel like he can really impact on the defense.
Clifford had
side.
9, he averages 17. JJ, how long have I been talking about Borvic's length and what I think he does defensively? I thought that was key. On what he said about what happens next year, let me tell you something. Here's what I think. If, in fact, I look at what goes on at Utah State. Every year they get a new coach and they're really good. It's freaking Logan, Utah. Like I get it. It's beautiful up there. It is. It's beautiful. But I'm going to take now. Everybody, Bronco Mendenhall might rather live up there, but I'd rather this place is good. I think this program's in a place where you will be able to attract a good, maybe even name coach if Richard leaves. If that's a capital I, capital F, and he may. Then his name's up for the Miami job and all these other whatever. I think the program and the reputation and the building and the fan base is in a good enough place where you will be able to attract somebody who comes in and continue. I don't know how you feel about this, man. If you lose your coach, it's not the end of the world. I'm not telling you want to lose him. He's a good coach. But I think he's put you in a place now where you're going to be able to attract and continue.
I mean, it's Lobo Nation. It's about Lobo basketball. You got to be in the moment. You can't. People call into my show after the games and everybody makes comments about him leaving. It's not about that, man. Right. It's really about right now, because you never know what's going to happen next year. Dent could sign back. I mean, there's a process going right now with the state to where there might be some NIL money coming, some more money. So
Mo Maestas was on our show earlier talking about that. Steve says, fellas, I'm a huge Nelly fan, a Nelly Jr. Joseph fan, but capital B-U-T. Kenny Thomas was an absolute stud. How he got the huge body up so quick and so high was amazing. When KT would go up for a rebound up over Doliak and Van Horn, it was amazing. Always called those man rebounds. Happy Friday. It's from Steve.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you, man.
What do you got here? Anthony, is that what you told me?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's man,
you're all right.
Man, it was one of those man, it was one of those things, right? Like it was a team effort, and yeah. Nelly's a good player.
He's
man.
really good, man.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I wish I could work with him.
Look, man, I tell people all the time, if you think Michael Jordan is better than LeBron, that doesn't mean you're dissing LeBron.
Yeah.
Right?
And hey, man, when I played, that was 95 to 99. It was back in the day. Right? So
last time
it's
they
a whole
went
different
11-1.
game now.
Last time they were 11-1, by the way. Hey, Anthony, good morning.
My guy.
You're on the Sports Animal. What's good, Anthony?
Hey, guys, what's going on? Just wanted to call in and say two things. And first of all, with that Mo Maestas, that's $2.5 million. If you guys don't think NIL money makes a difference, just look at the Lobo basketball team. Donovan Dent's getting paid, and he is the best point guard in the league. Mm-hmm. Joseph is getting paid, and he is the best big in the league. True Washington is getting paid, and he's the best on-ball defender in the league. C.J. Nolan is getting paid. He's probably the best off-the-bench player in the league. And I know everybody loves Richard Pitino, but Richard Pitino is a barely above 500 coach. But when you have the best talent in the league and you're bringing those studs off the bench who are getting paid by NIL money, guys, they're getting paid. They're here at the UNM for two reasons. They get a paycheck, and they get to play in front of the fans and feel like an NBA team, like an NBA player for 4 years or 2 years, as long as you're here. So if you don't think you can win by paying these players, you can win. You can get a good coach, above 500 coach, barely above 500 coach, which Richard Pitino is, and he might be a great guy, but if you guys watch him coach, he's not Steve Alford. He's not making great adjustments in the games. He's not doing, throwing 2 threes at people or changing it up on a full court press. He's not doing any of that stuff. He's just saying, let my studs play, and when the studs turn it on, like they did against Utah State in the second half, and Colorado State, of course, have season tickets, so I'm at every game. When Dent turns it on and Nelly turns it on, it's lights out. in this Mountain West. Those other teams do not have the talent to compete with this team.
Yeah. All right.
So if Pino leaves,
yeah, no, you're going to be okay.
We'll be all right.
I'm going to push back on you on his coaching, where he's 80-45 at New Mexico, and so it's better than.
What is he at Minnesota?
So overall he was I'll tell you, he was 220 and 178 before this year. So he's 239 and 182 overall.
And the difference is in the Big Ten, he had average talent.
Okay. But what's he doing here? He's bringing in
has
talent.
the best talent.
Yeah. No, and your point on NIL is right.
But he's bringing it in with the NIL money, guys.
Yes.
The NIL
and that's
money
the world
is bringing
today.
the talent.
Yeah. All right, man.
Those guys that would usually say no thanks, I'm going somewhere else. Now they're like, oh,
but that's today's world.
and I get to play in the Fed.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Thanks, Anthony. It's today's world, man. Look, he's not unique in that.
Yeah.
He's got to recruit. It's not just they're coming because you're going to pay him. He's got to recruit. It's a mixture. Like you can have all the NIL money in the world, but if you don't have a good coach, and I think Richard's a good coach. Is he the best X&O coach ever? I don't know that I think he is. I don't think he's a bad one. I think he's made adjustments. And if you look at the way they played against Utah State, I thought they're pretty damn well coached this year. They're beating all the better teams in the league by double digits.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming together and gelling together, because in the beginning of the season, it was a lot of one-on-one basketball. It wasn't a flow of transition of pick and rolls, a flow of getting different guys in different opportunities to be successful. I feel like he has changed it up full court. Obviously, hey, he's human, man. There's a lot of different things that he probably could have done better. And hey, like Jeff said, 80-45.
80-45 here, and he's 239 and 180.
That's way over
overall.
500, but yeah, what do I know?
Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, good morning. So, I'm going to make this real easy on people. All you have to do is go to your Google search engine and type in my state senator, my state legislator, and it will ask you for your address. And you type in your address, and guess what it gives you? The name of your New Mexico State representative and the name of your New Mexico State senator. Took me 5 minutes to write Senator Bregman's and say, I'm writing to ask you to support and vote for NIL, a bill that would give a small amount of money to support name, image, and likeness for athletes. In a time when we have billions of dollars available, this small amount is a huge difference maker. Please let me know that you will support this legislation. Put them on the spot. Make them answer the question.
So basically what you're saying, okay, so Sam Bregman is the DA. I think you were talking about another senator.
No.
But
Heather Bregman's, she has kind of the same sounding last name. Heather Bregman's is my senator.
Got you.
And Denise Torres is my representative. And by looking those up, I was able to get their names and write them a little short note. And that's what these people respond to. I'm telling you, ask Mo. You get a message from a constituent saying, I want you to do something, their head spins like The Exorcist, because they don't want to get voted out of office. They like going up to Santa Fe and being treated like royalty. So let's play into that. It's very simple. So all you have to do is write them and ask them, and they'll do what you ask them to do. And $2.5 million might not be a lot of money in the big scheme of things, but add it to what we're putting into NIL. Yep. I just dropped some money to SVS 505 the other day. In celebration of the big win over Colorado State and Utah State.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all things that anybody can do, and if we do it, we're going to keep winning. This idea that we can't beat power conferences, didn't we beat UCLA, Kenny?
Yes.
Did you beat SC?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we beat VCU. We can beat these teams, and we have a good coach. And is he the best coach in the history of college basketball? No, but he's far from the worst.
But look where your program is now from when he came here. And the proof's in the pudding. And, the last caller was saying it's about NIL. It is about NIL, but a lot of coaches out there have NIL and aren't winning.
Yeah.
It's both. And so my point, Rudy, is, look, you got to get your NIL up. And if Richard leaves, and I hope he doesn't, I think the program's in a good enough place where you bring in a good and maybe even big-name coach, to continue what he's doing. If he leaves, you shake his hand, say thank you,
Yeah.
because we're in a better place than we were when you got out of here. And go make your money,
Yeah.
and you continue. But NIL and coaching's got to go hand in hand. Richard's 80 and 45 here. That's not just over 500. Hey man, I got to hit this break. Later. All right, if you're there, stay there. I know you got to bounce, but I'm gonna. You want to stick around?
I'm good, bro. I got a couple more
What do you
minutes.
want to do?
Yeah, whatever you guys
All right,
wanna
if you're
do.
there, stay there. Kenny's gonna stick around for a few more minutes, and we'll continue this long session on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
At Ridgeford's.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hang out with us, but I mean, he'll hang out with you right now. Grady, you're on the Sports Animal. What's up, dude?
Kicking it with the Roundhouse Insiders of the OD and the AM. What's happening?
Everything's good, man.
What's up, man? How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Hey, listen, I've never had an opportunity to say this with Kenny Thomas on the line and to Kenny Thomas. Kenny, I have a story real quick, and it has nothing to do with you playing basketball. It's about you at UNM.
Oh, man.
And into college education.
I was at a party one time.
I'm like, where is this going?
No, well, listen, my mother worked there, and she would tell me that you always treated her with kindness, with respect. You held the doors open for her, things like that. And, you knew you were going pro. And let's put it like this. She would also mention that sometimes some of your teammates and fellow athletes would be acting a fool, and she always had good things to say about you. And
Thanks.
Hey, any man that treats my mother with kindness and he didn't know her from Eve, you have my ultimate and lasting respect. So I wanted to say that on the air. I didn't realize that I'm beyond with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And back, I want to get to what Senator Maestas said, and for the most part, I agree, but one thing that he did mention that, quite frankly, I think is, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
I know what you're going to say.
As far as the facilities are concerned, well, if you're waiting to pack the stadium before you invest in facilities, well, that, again, I'm just talking about football, but just that attitude in general is going to negate any kind of momentum that you really, really have. All the things you talked about, we want to compete, we want to be competitive, we want to show that we can be on par with at least the schools in our conference. Well, if you say all that, and then your facilities are at the very bottom, then you're not really doing that. Don't tie it to attendance. Don't tie it to success. Actually do it to where you say, hey, you know what? We want to have the nicest facilities that we can have for the state. And he's on point. And Jeff, I know you've mentioned this before too. Benefits sell. Features don't. And the benefits of quality athletics, not only is it increased enrollment, it's increased revenue dollar to the state. Yep. It's actually an increased educated population, so where you can maybe generate some more business, corporate all overall. I mean, so many things accompany good athletic programs, good things for the state. It's one of those things where if you're the type that, well, it doesn't affect me, I don't have any kids, well, again, if you have a more educated workforce and you have more economic opportunity, who knows? Maybe your insurance rates might go down. It's one of those things where it's all intrinsically linked together, but people don't necessarily always see that. Yeah. So I'm happy that step is being taken forward, but don't fund things for mediocrity. Fund things for success.
Yeah,
fund
I think
things
that's
for
and that's
fund things that we can have the best that we can afford. So I appreciate the attitude. I appreciate the steps forward. Man, it just worries me because when you throw in those types of caveats.
Yeah, and that's one opinion at one time, and I think it can be changed, and it's good. Hey, man, have a great weekend. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Later. Mo was on earlier, and one of the things he said, he wants, football's got to get filled up before they start fixing the stadium. The facilities, the player-facing facilities for football are good. The fan amenities are not, and that's where it needs to be. Let me read you a couple things here on the text line. On Coach Patino, this guy says, what's this guy talking about? He's a great coach. He brought in Mash and House and Dent and Toppin and on and on. This guy is nuts. And I think the caller would argue, he brought him in with NIL. And the answer is yes and yes.
Yeah, I mean, NIL is the thing now. And obviously, it's a way to keep top players. And when players have opportunities to go to somewhere else, they don't know what's going to happen when they're done playing. So it's one of those things. Hey, these guys got to go get their money, man, especially when there's been opportunities to where they're able to make money now. So why not? I mean, they deserve it, especially with the university making all the money.
Well, but the university, it's not like they're rolling in black ink, right? I mean, they're upside down in athletics. It's not, that's a mantra I think that is just unsubstantiated. Everybody's making all these millions of dollars except for the players. They're actually not. You look at everybody's budget, and I think it's 12% of these athletic departments operate in the black.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you have a state that has funding to where when you have the biggest ticket, the biggest thing in town, which is football and basketball, not knocking the other sports.
No, there's no knocking.
But those are the ones that are bringing in the money. So what do? You have to advance them by building them better facilities.
JJ, I got an email on the NIL stuff. And I thought, what do you think of what Mo said? I mean, for the most part, I knew where Grady was going to go on the football facility, but for the most part, did it make sense?
Yeah, they're trying to get this in some sort of package, in some sort of
in-house bill too, in the budget.
Yeah, in the budget for it. It makes sense. And this is what you can do, so why not try to do it right now?
Text line says, Jeff, these listeners commenting on NIL are a perfect example of why Albuquerque as a city will never develop and evolve. Want to ignore what it takes to keep up with today's reality to be competitive. The mañana mindset. Yet these people will be the first to complain when Lobo Athletics starts failing. It's just like when fans would complain about the premium in football or basketball tickets for bigger games. New Mexico, in general, fans want a Lamborghini on a Honda budget. Look, it's true. It's exactly right, and I understand everybody's protecting your money like you're spending it. NIL is an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people, and I'll say the quiet part out loud. Why are these kids making more money than me? They're in college. Why are they making more money than me? And it makes people uncomfortable and unhappy. and it's just the truth.
It does.
No, I'll say it out loud.
It does.
And the
That's
reality is, this isn't 1998 when Kenny Thomas was playing. NIL, now it's legal.
Yeah.
And that means this is part of the budget.
Yeah.
You're not going backwards. Now, nobody's saying you got to compete with Alabama and SC. But if you want to compete with Colorado State and UTEP and Nevada and UNLV,
Yeah.
NIL's part of the deal. This isn't an option. Well, we kind of want to. No.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep Donovan Dent here. But you don't want to pay him?
You got to pay him.
It's today's world. And you don't have to like it. And if you can't accept it and you can't like it,
Yeah.
I've never told you how to be a fan. But if you can't accept it, JJ, how many times have I said this? College athletics just isn't for you anymore. This ain't coming backwards.
No, it's. I think it's going to get to the point to where they're going to try and limit maybe as much as they can
That's
make.
fine, but you still gotta
it's not
play.
going anywhere.
That's fine. You still got to play.
Yep.
All right, one more, and then you can get out of here. Ralph, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Ralph.
Yes, how you doing? I was going to say, maybe we should try to have Mo maybe try to allocate some of that cannabis money towards our sports programs for both universities.
And that was
It
$1
hasn't
billion
been
last
anything.
year.
Yeah, that's a great call.
Billion.
That's a great call. I mean, can you 3.2% of the cannabis tax money go towards athletics? Yeah, it's a great idea. Like the Sun Bowl gets, I don't know what the percentage is. They get a sliver of the rental car tax in El Paso to help fund the Sun Bowl, and that's how they get the teams that they get. Right?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Ralph, I love the way you're thinking because it's creative and it's new generated revenue that you're not taking from something else that you could help athletics. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things, right? You have celebrities. You have so many people that come through Albuquerque to get to Santa Fe.
Man,
It's a
statewide
destination, man.
All right, get out of here. Go listen to Kenny Thomas. He'll be on KKOB tomorrow.
He kicked me out, you guys.
Well, you can stay, man.
I'm just kidding.
Hang out all you want. we got 18 minutes left. Kenny will be with Brandon. It's Lobo Live after Lobo basketball over on News Radio KKOB. He'll be there tomorrow. You can talk to him after the Air Force game, which starts at 2:00 on News Radio KKOB. Hey, Valentine's Day is a week away, boys. Get yourself over to John Thomas Jewelers. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, they got over 3,000 ladies and men's rings that you could try on. They'll make anything you want. They got a custom state-of-the-art design center right there on premises. So whether it's an engagement ring or an anniversary ring or a present or something you want to wow her with for Valentine's Day, John Thomas Jeweler is the best jeweler, period, voted coolest jewelry store by In-Store Magazine. And now, listen to what they got going through Valentine's Day. They will match your purchase absolutely free with a lab-grown diamond stud earring set. So if you buy a $5,000 engagement ring, they're going to give you a $5,000 pair of stud earrings. $500 bracelet, 500 pair of studs. $1,000 necklace, $1,000 pair of stud earrings. This offer ends on Valentine's Day. Get yourself over to John Thomas Jeweler, 3rd floor of the Lewis University building, 1 block south of Badal, on Louisiana, 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310, JohnThomasJewelers.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro.
Playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl here on the Sports Animal started at 8 in the morning on Sunday. Tailgate talk starts you then. Then you get Westwood One's coverage leading up to the 4:30 start. Afternoon show, Fred and Van, two men on, are in New Orleans. Listen to them this afternoon. 4 o'clock, brought to you by Cornish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations in airport parking. Safe, secure, and the best price to park at the Sunport. Can you get the phones? I just want to finish this thing up on Richard Pitino. And the caller who called said, he's just a 500 coach and he's not that good. Like he's a good coach. Okay? And again, 80-45 at New Mexico. Overall, as a head coach, he's 239 and 182. At Minnesota, he had a 534 winning percent, 141 and 123. He's a good coach. My point was, and if you wanted to come back and hit him instead of being a good coach, you could say, well, they finished 6th place the last 2 years in this league. That would be your way to take your shot if you wanted to, right? And they went to the NCAA tournament as a 6th place team, and they won the conference tournament. My point is, if, and again, capital IF, if he leaves, he's done a damn good job here, and he's put you in a position where I think you're attractive, and you can find somebody who is good, maybe even a name, to continue on the path you're on. Are you better off now than when he got here? Question. It's not even arguable, right? So. All right, let's go. Super Bowl's this weekend. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Edward.
Well, hi. Here we are, the culmination of another interesting season. I wouldn't say wonderful, but interesting. By the way, I don't need to see Snoop Dogg anymore. The NFL Honors is an amazing evening to honor people in the NFL, even the Walter Payton Award. His jokes were ill-timed. He lost the crowd 3 minutes in, cracking jokes about weed with the players. It was awful. It was awkward. It was bad. NFL, do better. Do better next time. Do better tomorrow. The NFL MVP, I think they got right, and I just think it was a great evening ruined by an insufferable host. Now, do I think the Eagles have a chance? Yes. Do we all know what already is going to happen? Absolutely. So there's going to be some strange thing that happens, or maybe a few of them, and we're going to see the amazing Patrick Mahomes three-peat, and the storyline will probably end there, and then we'll come up with a new storyline next year. But, yeah, I'm looking – I don't know. Jeff, you and we've gone to big events. I've gone to the Super Bowl City. I think I went 25 straight years, been to 8 games. I actually consider not watching, but I'm not that guy. I'm actually going to watch because, you know, we're football fans, and that's what ingrained us into this fabulous sport. So you guys enjoy the weekend and enjoy the game.
All right, see you. Terry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Terry.
Good Friday, Jeff. Good Friday, JJ. Thoughts and hugs to all family members. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll go Philly 28-24. But I'd say for the Philly coach, if it goes to overtime, don't pull a Shanahan. You don't take the ball, you kick. So you can't blame the ref for Shanahan making a stupid move last year and taking the ball in overtime. Still doesn't mean the game went into the way it did, but all that.
Don't lose the coin toss.
Don't panic too much if the net drops a little bit over the next 2 games because the goofiness of playing Quad 4 teams, maybe if you blow them out, still doesn't go, and then you shoot back up when you play the other teams. We'll see how the committee handles the net this year and all that. But, yeah, if Lobos get on a run, maybe they can get a high as the 7 and then go for that. Their defense, well, I'm glad you guys stay optimistic. I wish them well, but I don't know in a couple of years when the league is split and it's packed, whatever, in Mountain, what's left, you know, how it will shake out. But, you know, it goes out, enjoy the moments where it goes now. You guys have a great weekend. Take care. Be safe.
Right,
Bye-bye.
see you. Look, I understand what the league's going to become, okay? And you're losing some good ones. JJ, there's good programs, and I think New Mexico can be one of them, in leagues that aren't super deep.
That is correct.
So that's all I'm saying. Look, you're in a really good place right now. Nobody's thrilled that this league broke up and you're losing basketball-wise San Diego State, Boise State. But I'm going to tell you, I think UNLV can be good. I think Reno can be good. I'd love to see UTEP get good again. I don't know that let's see what happens when they come into the Mountain West. I'd like to see them get better. Aggies play them tomorrow, by the way. UTEP and New Mexico State play at the Pan Am Center tomorrow. You're rooting for New Mexico State, Lobo fan, by the way. Oh, I can't root for them. Yeah, you are. You need them to get their net up a little bit. Yeah, it helps you. It helps you. Who you got? Are you still on the Chiefs?
Eagles by 3.
Who you flipped, huh? Chiefs by 4. I think I'm still on the Chiefs. David said, hey, Jeff, forgive me if you already mentioned this earlier in the show, which we did, but I'll do it again. Just wanted to give some recognition to Ryan Gonzalez from Volcano Vista. But last night, he broke the Metro scoring record with 62 points. The state single-game three-point shots made was 17 in a district win over Piedra Vista. He had 11 threes in the first half. Fantastic performance by a great kid. Yeah, we did. And he had 62 points. They beat Piedra Vista 98-45. And I have not seen him play in person, but I'm going to go find him.
That's insane.
Dude, 17 threes in a game. Go out and hit 17 threes in the next 15 minutes with nobody guarding you in the gym. Go ahead. I want to see you do it.
How many minutes do I get?
I'll give you. Well, you could probably do it. How many would you need to hit 17? Just you out there with a guy feeding you balls. Could you, in 5 minutes, just shooting with nobody guarding you, could you hit 17?
I think I get close.
I think what's the number? Would it be 5 minutes? I'd like to see it. I'll go out there with you.
Maybe. I'm sure someone might be able to open the door for us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can record something at the pit.
That might be bad TV. All right. Don't forget, the Super Bowl is exclusively here on the Sports Animal. It's a big weekend for everybody. Be careful out there if you're going to parties or whatever. I mean, you don't need me lecturing you. Big weekend for us tomorrow here on the Sports Animal. JJ will have Lobo women's basketball. They are going to be in Las Vegas. It's a 2:30 start. That means a 3 o'clock start, 2:30 pregame show. JJ will be with the Lady Lobos in Vegas against UNLV. Lobo men's basketball over on News Radio KKOB. 2 o'clock start, 1:30 pregame, and then, of course, the Super Bowl right here on the Sports Animal. Thanks to Kenny Thomas and to John Traub and to Senator Mo Maestas. All of them guested on our show today. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is next. The Jim Rome Show will follow that. 2 Men On comes to you from Radio Row at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. That'll be at 4. And then we're going to come back and bring you award-winning radio again on Monday, starting at 7 a.m. Fair?
Sounds good.
All right. Adrian, great week. Great stuff. Big weekend for you. Safe travels.
Huge.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Have a great, safe weekend. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing, and we will smell you on Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.